Good morning, Manitoba. I'm Larry McIntosh, and I'll be your host for the next hour and every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Thanks for tuning in. I'm getting very excited about Peak of the Market's TV auditions that are coming up next Saturday, May 31st from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Center Court of Polo Park Shopping Center. Yes, that means there's only 1 week left for interested children, 6 to 12 years old, to look over the script and get ready for their audition. I'll tell you more about this later in the show, but for more details, please visit peakmarket.com. My guest this morning is Schon, Canadian President of Share Our Strengths. Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Good morning, Larry. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
What's new?
Just pleasure to be here bright and early and just to see your smiling face.
So tell us about the organization Share Our Strength.
Share Our Strength is a hospitality-based charity. We've been around 21 years in Winnipeg, and we raise funds through the hospitality professionals, through suppliers, and we work with chefs and non-industry people. We raise funds for ending childhood hunger in our community and do a little bit overseas as well.
So I said you were the Canadian president. Does that mean there's more than the one, or is it Winnipeg-based, or is it international? Or?
It's an international charity. Winnipeg is the only Canadian chapter at this point. Presently, we were in Vancouver, Calgary, and Montreal, Toronto. And with our mandate of 100% of ticket proceeds go into charity, volunteers in the other cities have gone dark, unfortunately. So,
well, that is unfortunate for sure, but that says a lot about Winnipeg at the same time.
We're very blessed to have a very supportive community who come to the table every year to support us and create wonderful events. And the volunteers, year in, year out, show up every year. So it's great.
So let's take a step back. So you're raising funds through various events, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But you're saying end childhood hunger. So how do you do that? What type of organization do you support, or is it your own?
We're a charity that grants out dollars that we raise each year. As we say, we separate the fundraising from the flow of the execution of the programs. So we work with Flora House, we work with the Immigrant Center, we work with Strathcona School, a number of different other inner city projects, and we just fund them, and we get them to execute programs that are very nutrition-based and life skill-based, so the kids and young adults learn to make good food choices.
Now, when I was preparing for this interview, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will, but some of this money goes internationally as well?
Yes, we work with Oxfam Canada because many years ago, when we were probably 5 or 6 years into it, a fellow Winnipegger, Tom Denton, was running the Immigrant Center at the time, who was one of our major recipients, and we talked to him, do we need to keep the funds local? Do we do an 80-20 rule for the funds raised? And he said, you know what, as much as he would like 100% of the funds at the Immigrant Center, he said 20% we send offshore to work with Oxfam Canada can do amazing things for the different projects that we work with them on. So.
And that's probably, probably it balances not the proper words what I'm trying to say. But in our community, we're fairly fortunate, and there is needs, and you're certainly addressing those. But internationally, there's also huge needs as well. You're right. It's a twofold question. What's the right answer? There's no easy answer. But when we can ship off $20,000 to Oxfam Canada, and they work with women's projects in Guatemala where they rent land from the landowners, and the women grow tomatoes, and you see these smiles in the photos of these people growing non-traditional vegetables and seeing the excitement, and it's very rewarding to see that and have it come together. So the local organizations raise money for, as you were saying, Oxfam and local organizations. And this has been going on for 21 years?
21 years.
So how much has been raised over all those years?
$1.9 million.
Really?
Yes.
That's a significant amount.
We do okay for a quiet little charity with a couple of chefs, lots of great chefs who get together, and restaurants who get together, food and beverage partners who get together at our two events, and we do well because we keep our expenses close to under 5%, less than 5% each year.
And I would say the average person, you correct me if I'm wrong, but would the average person have heard of the organization?
Probably not.
Right. So this may be the first time people have heard about it. And certainly if you're in our industry, certainly I've heard about it. That's why we asked you to come on the show. And we've helped with some vegetables over the years for the various the dinners that you've done. But did you want to get the word out in a bigger way, or are you trying to expand the dinners, or are you taking donations? Or
We're always taking cash donations. We'd like to keep our 2 events going successful each year, because for our chef's dinner, which we do in April each year or late March, depending on because we get everything donated. So it's sometimes a little bit more challenging to get the chefs together when they're between the holidays, the school breaks, and the different things like that,
Right.
and get everything donated, get the wait staff donated, get the venues donated. We cap the dinner about 150 people each year, and that's where we go. And we just, over the years, we've had great venues donated.
So you have multiple chefs that are doing this?
We have 15 chefs who do the chef's dinner, and we have 40 chefs who do the the Taste of the Nation.
And there's only 150 people?
At the chef's dinner, there's 150 people, so we have 15 chefs for 150 people.
So that would be sold out in minutes, I would assume?
It's a $300 ticket, so it's a little bit. Not quite
hours,
hours, days. We have great support. We are great sponsors as well through the years that have come to the table. So each year the chef's dinner with 150 people will get about $75,000 raised between sponsorship, silent auction, and ticket sales.
And we certainly want to talk more about the events that are coming up and the chefs involved, because it's the who's who of the city that are involved in this, and some great venues have been donated, as you mentioned, and we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about the cookbook that you brought us today, that it's just come out?
Yes, it just came out this year. We're very excited of 21 years of the chefs. We've gone to the 40 chefs and partners who've been in the events, and they've each supplied a recipe of their choice. We talked about a protein for them, and the cookbook's great because the chefs give their bio.
And we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that. We'll be back with Eric, from the Canadian president of Share Our Strength, after we take this break for your CJOB weather update. Welcome back to Food and Friends. Food and Friends Radio is now on TV. Each radio show is filmed and will be posted on MyToba.ca later this weekend. So if you want to see the TV version of this or previous radio shows, please visit MyToba.ca. That's MyToba.ca. Thanks to Chad, who's operating our camera today, and the teachers of the Broadcasting and Media Arts program at TechVoc High School for their involvement. You can also listen to the audio podcast of Food and Friends at SoundCloud.com and at the iTunes Store. So just do a search at MyToba.ca, SoundCloud.com, or iTunes for Food and Friends with Larry, and all the shows will come up for your listening or viewing pleasure. Of course, Food and Friends is only available because of 680 CJOB and its advertisers. So please tune in to 680 CJOB, or you can listen live at cjob.com. We're back with Eric Schon, Canadian president of Share Our Strength. Eric, so we were talking off air about this cookbook that you brought. The cookbook is on the table, but we're gonna give it away in the next half hour. You brought one to give away to our listeners, which is fantastic.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about the cookbook. Where'd the idea come from?
Well, when you're working with chefs for 21 years, you always get people seeing what they create and all the different things like that, and people say, where can we get some of these recipes? What can we do? And finally, we had a great committee member, Christine, this year, who came on board, a photographer, and she volunteered her time, and she went out, took pictures of the chefs, took pictures of the plate creations from the chef, as well as the plate. So in the cookbook, you'll see the plates, the chef photo, and the recipe. She coordinated the recipes as well. Now,
as I said, you brought the book this morning. We're going to give it away in the next half hour, but it's really well done.
Thank you very much. We're pleased with the way it came out. It's a volunteer committee, and everything was donated. We have an honorary chef, Bob and Susan Morris, who own a printing company, so they were very supportive, let's say, in the production of the cookbook, and we're pleased at how it came together, and our recipient agencies are pleased as well.
So how do they get the book?
The cookbook is available through the different chefs who are in the cookbook, and if they go to shareourstrength.com/Winnipeg, they'll have the list of participating chefs in there. The chefs from WOW have it. Morden's Chocolates on Sargent has it. Constant Pop. The Fairmont has it. You can call me at the Fairmont. And a number of things. The Grove, Sydney's at the Forks, a cross-section of great restaurants have.
So they can go to the website. That will tell them how to get it. But if they go to a restaurant, are they going to have them out, or are they going to need to ask for the chef? Or
some of the chefs have them out on display.
Okay.
Larders, Cameron Hewley, the Team Canada chef who's participated with us this year as well. He has a display at the golf club, which is golf season now, and hopefully in between rounds of golf, that people can see the cookbook and pick it up. It would be great.
So if they want to get it from you, where is it? Stuck in your office?
It's in my office. Yes, I have too many cookbooks at the Fairmont, unfortunately. Don't remind me. Took delivery of way too many cookbooks. But they're out in the community, and we're looking to do a fundraiser as well. Actually, in the fall, we're going to work with some local schools and have kids help themselves and help the kids in the inner city by selling the cookbooks as a fundraiser for their school projects, as well as the inner city.
So SOS, Share Our Strength, has 2 fundraisers a year as well as the cookbook.
Correct.
So you guys just continue doing this all on a volunteer basis?
100% volunteer from myself. John Alexander's the co-chair. Takashi Murakami from St. Charles volunteers his time. And we have another about 15 people on the committee who get together in the fall and start to plan the spring events.
So you're the Canadian president, as we mentioned in the last segment, and but there's also international ones, or? Yes,
there's an international. I mean, the Share Our Strength started in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And there's 45 cities across the United States that do similar events.
Oh, wow.
They do a Great American Bake Sale. They do Dine Out for Restaurants for Relief for the different events as well. They do a Chef's Night Out. They do Chefs on Bikes. There's the Share Our Strength community in Washington is fabulous and very strong, and it's in New York City, the New York Wine Festival. The Food Network's on board as well. And Jeff Bridges is our honorary spokesperson because he had a childhood hunger charity as well. He saw what we were doing, he validated what we did, and came on board, and we partner well.
So as we were saying before, Winnipeg is the only chapter, if you call it that, in Canada, but there was others that have come and gone. How can we get them in other cities? I know that's not your mandate, but you are the Canadian president, so what are we going to do about getting...
I would love to see other cities come on board. I mean, Cisco is a partner in the States. Ecolab is a partner in the States as well, and each of those operations have different things going on, and we would work with them. We're a registered charity. We provide a tax receipt for the events that we do, and we just have the mandate at 100% of the ticket price. So we get everything donated. And if other cities want to do the same thing, a black tie dinner, it's amazing. The suppliers that come to visit us when we're having these events through our suppliers, they come to us, they stay for the chef's dinner, they buy tickets, they come and they see, and they have the desire, but sometimes the drive of finding the volunteer, and the commitment of the hours is the challenge. But we'd love to work with people to get the events up and going in other cities again.
Great. We'll be back with Eric Schon, Canadian president of Share Our Strength, after we take this break for your cottage country weather. Welcome back to Food and Friends. It's time for our recipe segment called Now We're Cooking. You don't need to write this recipe down, as it is today's recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Sun, so you can get all the information from today's newspaper or our website. Today's recipe is fruity potato cake. Fruity potato cake. Here's what you need for the recipe. 4 cups of sweet potatoes diced, 1 tablespoon of melted butter, half a cup of brown sugar, 3 eggs, 3 tablespoons of milk, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and 1 zest of lemon, 1 teaspoon of caraway seeds, 3/4 cup of dried chopped fruits, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Cook the sweet potatoes in boiling water until soft, and then drain and mash until smooth. Transfer to a mixing bowl while still hot and add the butter and sugar, mixing together thoroughly. Beat in the eggs, milk, lemon zest and juice, caraway seeds, and chopped dried fruit. Add the baking powder and mix well. Then pour the mixture into a lightly greased 7-inch cake pan. Bake at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour to 1 1/4 hours, or until baked through. Remove the cake from the pan and transfer to the wire rack to cool. And this recipe serves 6. Again, this is fruity potato cake. This is also available today's recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Sun. And all the recipes on our website or in the newspaper have both metric and imperial measurements, so you can get all the information from either spot. We'll be right back with Eric Schon, Canadian president of Share Our Strength, after we take this break for your 680 CJB news, sports, and weather. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. Follow us at Peak of the Market on Twitter for recipes and Food and Friends guest updates. We have over, and if Nicole could give me a drum roll, that'd be great, but I know I can't at this short notice. We have over 100,000 Twitter followers, and we'd love to have you follow us too. Again, we're at Peak of the Market, or my Twitter is at Larry McIntosh. We're back with Eric Schon, Canadian President of Share Our Strength. 100,000 Twitter followers. We just broke that this week.
That's wonderful. That's
Isn't that fantastic?
That's wonderful.
I think I'm pretty excited by that.
That's huge.
You know, if I gave our producer Nicole a heads up, she could probably hit a drum roll there, but you know, I didn't think to do that.
Oh well, we know for next time.
I don't know if there's going to be next time.
Of course,
100,000. Holy mackerel! So we talked in the last half hour. You brought this great cookbook.
We're very pleased with the cookbook and the support from the chefs. It was wonderful.
21 years of sharing with Winnipeg's finest chefs. Yes. So you brought it to give away to our listeners on air. So this is what we're going to do. Send an email, if you're listening, to before 10 o'clock this morning to Larry McIntosh at peakmarket.com. And in the subject line, put asparagus, because that crop will be coming up this week. I'm hoping Monday, Tuesday, it'll be start harvesting with this warm weather. So again, send an email to Larry McIntosh, that's MC, at peakmarket.com before 10 o'clock this morning, and we'll put you into a draw for this fantastic cookbook.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for bringing it.
It's our pleasure.
So what's out the cookbook? A whole bunch of chefs?
Great chefs. The chefs have... Creativity right out the door. We have Mandel from Deer and Almond did some great stuff. We have Heiko from the Qualico Family Center. We have Mike from the DeLucas restaurant. I mean, different things like that. Dave Bergman did bacon chocolate, I believe, in the dessert section. We have some coffee. We got Black Pearl Coffee, did a special coffee section. Chocolate Bark from Morden's. It was fabulous. Our chef, Jeremy from the Fairmont, did a seared... CA beef tenderloin, a salt block. It's quite presents, looks great.
I just flipped through this morning, but I see Kelly, our friend Kelly from the Delta now, is also in there.
Yes,
Chef
Kelly from the Delta. He's rejoined the Delta, and he's back in there. And a lot of great chefs. We have Takashi from St. Charles, the Order of Canada chef. He did a lovely salmon dish as well. And I mean, really, we're just pleased that the whole community they took the challenge on, took their protein on, and went and did a great job.
So we said last half hour, if anybody wants to buy it, it's $30, correct?
$30.
And 100%. The website again is?
www.strength.org and /Winnipeg and on the page, the Fairmont. You can reach me at the Fairmont for cookbook sales.
As well as many of the other chef locations.
Many chefs location. Qualico Family Center has a display. Heiko and the Assiniboine Park Conservancy gives back to the community many times over. They have a cookbook for sale there, as well as the Wine House on Kenniston. They're a partner of ours for the different events, and they've got a case of cookbooks to sell as well.
Fantastic. And this is all just to help end hunger.
Help end childhood hunger through nutritious meals at the schools and learning life skills. We do a Cooking Matters program at the Immigrant Center. We work with Val there. She's a registered dietitian. She's growing with the program and received the full certification. And she teaches a 6-week class to new Canadians and Canadians down on their luck who need to take the basic things like reading a can label, learning about the nutritional value of different things, and learning how generic things are just about as good as a brand name. And if you're living on a budget, shoestring budget, you can buy a chicken and reuse it and start with cook a chicken, then you can make soup, and then you can make sandwiches, and the multiple uses of that, and flatbreads and different things like that, and grilled vegetables, different things you can.
Vegetables, there you go.
There you go.
I was waiting for that.
Vegetables, I'm sorry, Larry. And how to make hummus and the different things like that, and how to, just eat healthy snacks and different things like that for the kids. And like in the schools, we'll have snack time where they get vegetables that kids in the North End don't often get the right food choices because some people call it a food desert. And in the schools, we'll give them the support with some yogurt, with some carrot sticks, with cucumbers, and just get them eating outside the box of chips and the things that aren't good for them.
Right.
So, I mean, from that, we want to encourage the kids, a full belly is a better belly to learn on, and kids need good nutrition to learn.
So you're the president, the Canadian president of Share Our Strength, and you've been doing that for a while?
20 of the 21 years.
20 of the 21 years. What happened the other year? I guess you had to learn maybe, or?
I wasn't involved fully in the first year, but I joined the committee at work, said, join this committee at work, and you'll enjoy it. And I've enjoyed it, definitely. I've been to conferences and met wonderful people through it, and it's amazing that so many people have the same mandate and desire to give back to the community.
So let's talk about you for a moment. So you've been at the Fairmont for how long?
Been at the Fairmont 31 years.
31 years. Wow.
Yes.
All in Winnipeg?
No, I went to Ottawa for 3 years.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Winnipeg. I'm from Vancouver, but I moved here when I was 10 with my family, and a little young to stay out in Vancouver. People say, why did you move to Winnipeg? Well, little 10-year-old, not a good time to go on your own. So I came to Winnipeg.
Manitoba's the place to be anyway.
Manitoba's a great place. Great place to raise my family. I have 3 daughters and a lovely wife, and just pleased to. Winnipeg is a well-kept secret, and there's just too many great. It's a great summer town. In winter, it's cold, but you know what? People are warm.
So in your 31 years with the Fairmont, and they haven't all been in Winnipeg, but much of it's been in Winnipeg because I've known you for 20 years anyway.
Exactly.
It's been called different names, right?
Yes, I started there as the Westin, and just after it changed names from the Winnipeg into the Westin. We were owned by the Richardson family at that point, and the Richardsons owned it for another 15 years, and they turned it into. They brought Canadian Pacific Limited in, and they renamed it the Lombard.
Great.
For 3 years, it was the Lombard, and then Canadian Pacific rebranded all their hotels. They bought the brand Fairmont or they amalgamated with the brand the Fairmont and had the head office in Toronto, and the Fairmont was a better brand recognition. So that's why it's all the Fairmonts worldwide. Like the Banff Springs is a Fairmont, the Plaza in New York is a Fairmont, and it's curb appeal. You know where the Fairmont is, so.
And Fairmont's a nice chain. It's a consistent chain, which Shelley and I do a lot of traveling. We're fortunate with work. We do a lot of traveling, and it's a consistent hotel from town to town you go to.
We strive for consistency with as a brand. We have audits all the time. As a traveler, you want to know what's consistent, what menus are available, what you'll be able to get your foam pillow, your feather pillow. You'll get your preferences when you check in.
We'll be right back with Eric Schon, Canadian President of Share Our Strength, also with the Fairmont, right after we take this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Food and Friends. Peak of the Market is holding auditions for kids that want to be in one of our TV commercials. The auditions are open to children 6 to 12 years old and will take place at Center Court of Polo Park Shopping Center next Saturday, which is May 31st. Every child will audition with me, and they will receive a copy of their screen test. Then in June, volunteer media judges will view all the audition tapes, and the top 12 children's auditions will be posted on Facebook. During July, the public gets to like their favorite auditions. The 4 children with the most likes will be in Peak of the Market's television commercials this summer. Those 4 children will each receive $300 for the charity of their choice and $300 for their family. That's a lot of information I went through here, but you can get all the details along with the script at peakmarket.com. So please check it out. And if you have kids, grandkids that want to come out, it's Polo Park next Saturday. We're back with Eric Schon, Canadian President of Share Our Strength. And we were talking off air about the dinner, and the taste is what you call the other event,
Taste of
right?
the Nation.
Taste of the Nation, correct. And what's incredible about that, you have a whole pile of chefs. How many chefs do you have involved?
This year we had 40 restaurants who brought their A game to the Fairmont for one evening for sampling.
40.
40.
Wow.
It's amazing, the camaraderie of the chefs. You get Bistro 7 1/4. You get DeZeo, Scotty. You get Alex from Bistro 7 1/4. They line up, and they always have something very unique and different. And wonderful, because they don't get an evening. It's usually a Monday or Tuesday night where they can get together and see what each other's doing for charity. They're always giving back to charity at one-off events. One event they'll be hosting or whatever, but they'll get together. When we set up the tables in the room, we're always told you got to have certain chefs together, and you got to have the WOW restaurants together, because the WOWs are great community supporters, and everyone has their area they like to be with and people they like to be around, because it's a very close, strong community, the chefs community.
And that's incredible that 40 restaurants were involved. Obviously, hotels like yourselves donate the venue, volunteer time to put all this together, sell tickets, etc. But also, you were mentioning that the food's all donated. Is that
the food's for the taste event? Each restaurant donates all the 450 portions or the 500 portions that we do. Each one, we don't charge them to come into the event. We just ask they bring their A game, and they bring a wonderful sampling that showcases what they do in their wonderful restaurants.
okay? And for the dinner?
The dinner, we have we go to our wonderful food suppliers in the community, and each year the chef of the host venue will do up a work with Chef Murakami, and this year it was Barry from In at the Forks. He'll create a menu, 8 or 10 courses, and we'll get together a shopping list. We'll approach the suppliers, and it goes from the large suppliers, the Cisco's, to Peak of the Market, to Granny's, to Done Right. Everybody donates product for it. We use seafood outside the province, and Mariner Neptune. They all come to the table and donate. I mean, they all make a portion of the meal, or they give the raw products. The 15 chefs will create. They get together. They plan the menu, plan the execution of it, and then we get volunteer wait staff from the 15 chefs. We ask them to bring wait staff from their establishment. So 100% of the ticket price goes to charity, and the venue's donated, and it's a wonderful. We have wait staff who have left the industry who come back to volunteer at the dinner because they just enjoy it. They see the same familiar faces, they get recognized, and they enjoy giving back to making the community stronger.
And that is a wonderful Manitoba story. I mean, that's about people coming together, suppliers, people, chefs, which are always people,
yeah.
coming together and putting on these events to raise money for helping end kids' hunger.
It's wonderful because each year, I mean, everybody gets the faxes, the emails, and to support another worthy cause. And we've been doing it for 21 years, and it warms my heart to think that the community gives back. I mean, you start with a raw protein, or you start with the vegetables, and you give it to chefs who are very talented with what they do, and they create a wonderful meal that turns into $80,000. I can't go to someone and say, give me $300 and we'll do good with it. But if I say, come to my event where I have chefs who take time from their day off, away from their family, come in, donate their time, and create these meals, and then it's a win-win for everybody. If they donate their time, like Costa from the Manitoba Club and Mike DeQuisto have been doing it all 21 years.
That's great.
It's amazing. And there's other chefs who've been long-standing as well, but Costa, Takashi, and Mike DeQuisto have been all 21 years since the first dinner that happened many years ago.
And again, Eric brought a cookbook for us to give away. So if you want to enter the draw for that cookbook, simply send me an email, LarryMcIntosh@peakmarket.com. And in the subject line, just put asparagus or somewhere in the email. We'll put you in the draw, and we'll let them know later the weekend who won the cookbook. So that's great of you bring. We have to talk about the Fairmont a little bit because obviously I think you had some fairly famous guests this week that you could talk about now, right?
We've had some different guests came in with a bit of security this week. It was an exciting time. Yes, we don't talk about any of our guests, but there was a little bit of activity around.
There's like royal activity of some sort, and everybody knows they were there. So
I can't confirm or deny.
Oh, my goodness!
I've been employed 30 years. I want to make it to 31 or 32.
Well, Prince Charles was here this week along with the Duchess, and they stayed at the Fairmont. Although Eric will not confirm that, we know there was people camped out front, and we had the pleasure of going to the Order of Manitoba ceremony on what was that, Wednesday evening, I guess. And we saw them there. They were literally 2 feet from Shelley and I.
That's exciting. They're nice. I mean, they seem to be hospitable. My wife's a photographer, so she was accredited and did some of the photo shoot at Government House and at different locations. She was at the Ballet Building, and they were very hospitable, and they seemed to enjoy the city.
And certainly, it was great seeing the sunshine come out.
It was wonderful that they arrived in typical London weather, and they got to see the blue sky, the prairies during day 2 of their visit.
And they commented at the Order of Manitoba yesterday when they were giving out the awards or part of the awards. They were talking about how they flew in, oversaw Duff's Ditch and how amazing that was, and how they enjoyed feeding the polar bear at the new exhibit out at the zoo. And
Hudson the bear.
Hudson the bear. So it was kind of neat to hear people talk about our city and our province that way.
It's exciting to see the change of the city, the pride of the city. I mean, everyone's excited about the changes at Assiniboine Park and the Conservancy, the duck pond expanding, and just the way the community has come together for that project. You see that the duck pond has got new life, and the journey to Churchill, and it's all come together.
We'll be right back with Eric Schon, Canadian President of Share Our Strength, after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. My guest today has been Eric Schon, Canadian President of Share Our Strength. This hour has gone by fast.
It's been amazingly quick. I was nervous. I didn't think I could fill an hour.
Oh, come on. We could have gone for 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm a little long-winded, people tell me.
We're talking food.
We're talking food. We're talking great chefs. We're talking the community coming together. It's wonderful.
And again, during the commercial break, you were talking about you wanted to thank somebody else.
Thank Denise and Jean-Louis. They also come to the table each year, and Denise really comes to the table and enjoys her. Part of the chef's dinner.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Eric, for being on Food and Friends.
Larry, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for supporting Share Our Strength in the Cookbook and your support over the years as a supplier to the chef's dinner. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Please join me next Saturday when my guest will be Carol Vivier, Chief Executive Officer and Film Commissioner for the Manitoba Film and Music. Carol has hosted the Juno Awards twice and has brought many high-profile films to Manitoba. Thanks to Nicole Bonnycamp, our show's producer. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, and please, don't forget to eat your veggies. Thank you very much.